Okay, so this is your zone. You can take your rope and stretch it out completely above your head, twirl it in a 360 degree. That is your zone. Everything that is in that zone should probably not be there. Be sure when you practice to have a clear area the size of your zone, preferably a little larger. Also, be sure not to have anybody rushing out to you or jumping in or anything like that. Be sure to try to practice as much as you can alone, or if you do have people watching, make sure they are watching from a safe distance. Okay, this is a rope with a heavy object on the end of it. You could potentially hit somebody and cause injury, and not only that, but you could wrap somebody up with the rope and potentially choke them or something like that. So just safety is always a first. Alright, so now moving from footwork and handling the rope, which I will continue to do as I'm going through this basics tutorial, we're going to move to basic wraps. Okay, now basic wraps, which are probably going to be a little bit of the more complex stuff. That's why I'm trying to do this pretty much in the middle of the tutorial. Basic wraps are going to be like little wraps, nothing really serious. Pardon for the interruption. Okay, so basic wraps are going to be kind of small wraps that are going to be run around a particular part of the body, okay, and then ran back through so that it leads to a shot. All wraps, I repeat this, all wraps lead to shots. There is no wrap that does not lead to a shot in some possibility. It can be done from anywhere. Now, small wraps, basic wraps are going to be like the leg wrap that you just saw me do. Okay, this is a basic leg wrap. It wraps the leg once, you shoot it back through. Now you can continue to do this with either leg, inside and out. Okay, and it's not hard. One thing I will tell you is to mind your rope. Always keep a constant eye on your dart. Know where your dart is at all times. I know most everyone should be practicing with not the real thing. I do not. I practice with the real thing. I've been practicing with live weapons for about 18 years. So it's going to be a little different for me. So for everyone else though, I would strongly suggest do not practice with live weapons because you will end up injuring yourself at some point. If you wish to limit this to a minimum, practice with practice weapons. Okay, so now be sure, real quick, be sure to make sure that the knot on your wrist is tight, because when you're slinging this rope with some force, if it's got a little bit of slackness in it, it's going to slap up against your wrist every time that it pops to the end of the rope, and this is going to cause some pain after a while. It's not going to start off at first causing pain, but it will start off causing pain after a few hours of doing so. So just to let you know, always be sure that your rope is tight and that your knots are tight. If you see any fraying in your rope, then you probably would be a good idea to replace the rope. Okay, so now arm wraps. Alright, we just did a little bit of leg wraps. We're going to do some arm wraps now. Now, arm wraps are going to be a little bit more tricky because of you having to hold the rope plus wrap it around the arm. Okay, so what we're going to start off doing, I'm going to start off turning to the side so that you can see from the angle me wrapping the rope around my arm. Okay, I will try to do this as slow as possible so that you can actually see the rope being wrapped around the arm. Okay, now, same with this side, okay? Same with this side. Do the same on both sides, and the rope should, when you know you've got the hang of it, when you start actually striking, and you see that it's actually hitting where your hand is pointed, okay? This is a big trick with this shot. It's a wrap that leads into a shot, so I cannot help but teach you the shot because of the wrap. Like I said, all wraps lead into shots. This is basic wrap theology. So, now, slowly it wraps around the arm and it shoots out straight. Okay, that is the shot. When you see that you're shooting it out straight, that's considered a shot. Now, the thing with this is that once it is shot, you want to try to maintain your rope as much as possible, okay? So, let's say I'm doing my wrap. I do it nice and slow for you to actually see. When I release, I want to re-grab the rope and keep it moving. You don't want it to stay in one spot. You want this to be, even though you're striking, you want it to be as much flawless as possible. You don't want your dart to stay in one place. This is the movement of the rope. Just like earlier, constantly moving around you. This is your force field. This is how you keep everything else away from you. So, now, arm wraps. Back to arm wraps again. There are some arm wraps that you can do kind of like this. These are very basic arm wraps. Pretty simple little one move arm wraps. Okay. One thing that you will notice is you can do so from the right. Okay, like you see here, and then bring it back over. Okay. Also, basics. On the term of basics, this is a basic shoulder shot. What you're going to see me do is I'm actually going to, it's a wrap that doesn't actually wrap. Okay, it's a fake wrap, but it leads into a shot, and it's all part of movement, footwork, and shots and wrap theory all in one. Okay, so just from this little move, it takes all 4 parts to complete just this one little part. Okay, and here it goes, just like this. You got your rope. You're circling a rope clockwise. You step forward with whatever side that you are working the rope. So if I'm working the rope with my left, I want to step forward with my left. Okay? Reason being that I want to step forward with my left is because that's actually the side that I'm going to be shooting it off of. Okay? Now I'm going to do this again and a little bit slower from the back so that you can actually see it grip my shoulder blade. Okay? Okay? So you can actually see the rope grip my shoulder blade as I do it. Now this is, like I said, it's all a part of footwork and basic movement and basic wrap theology. Okay? This is one of those wraps that it really does not take a whole lot to master. This should be pretty easy. The only thing you should really be scared of is maybe the potential of smacking yourself in the face if you don't do it right. So, other than this, let's move to knees. I think that would probably be about the best. Knee wrap or knee shots, either one, is going to be around the same as everything else. You're going to wrap it around. Be sure that you do not raise your knee up in front of you. If you raise your knee up in front of you, then it's going to be very hard for you to be able to wrap the rope around the end of your